At Trenton, George Washington came up with a plan to sneak attack on the Hessians while they were sleeping off their Christmas feast. Boom! Boom! The Americans shot into the air, stunning and waking the Hessians. They took 500 Hessians into captive. At Princeton, George Washington had the plan to leave their fires burning, so the British thought they were still there. But in the dark, the Americans snuck away. In the morning, George Washington and his troops attacked, surprisingly. Taking 300 British captive.
My name is General John Burgoyne.
What's your plan, General?
My plan is to have 3 of the British troops cut off the New England colonies from the rest and take down the Americans.
Good deal, sir. However, only Burgoyne's troops arrived, and he was forced to surrender because he was outnumbered.
Yorktown. British General Cornwallis rested his troops in Yorktown, Virginia. This turned out to be a big mistake. General Washington and the French troops moved north and put them under siege. Cornwallis thought he could evacuate on the water, but French warships arrived before the British. Cornwallis surrendered, and the United States won the Revolutionary War.
The women were nurses and carried messages to troops during the war. Slaves were originally not allowed to fight for Washington, but then Lord Dunmore made a proclamation that any slave that fought for the British would be free. After this, Washington agreed to let the African Americans fight. The African Americans thought the Declaration of Independence would end slavery, but little did they know that wasn't the case. In Paris, they signed a peace treaty. However, the British were too ashamed to show for the signing. The treaty stated that Britain would recognize the United States as independent. The Americans have the land from the Atlantic coast to the Mississippi River except Canada, and that all stolen property from Loyalists would be returned to the Loyalists.
Like she's talking to the troops or something?
Maybe hold it out like, because there's troops to cut off the New England. My name is General John Burgoyne.
What's your plan, General?
My plan is to take down the New England colonies and...
Oh my God.
But French warships arrived before the British. Cornwallis surrendered, and the United States won the Revolutionary War.
Shame to show for the signing.
Page, it's supposed to be a peace treaty.
Oh yeah. As independent. The Americans have the land from the Atlantic coast to the Mississippi River except Canada, and that all stolen property from Loyalists would be returned to the Loyalists.
Starring Brenna and Brian as the narrators, Breanna as George Washington, Page as John Burgoyne, Brenna as a woman, and Brenna as a slave.